Hi everyone, it's Angie. I want to take you along. I'm going to make a boho journal cover here, and I want to show you some of the different elements. First of all, I want to tell you about what happened to me. If you look, you can see that I have paint. I am working on some rental property that we have, and I spilled almost a whole can of Kills primer, so it's everywhere. So I've scrubbed till almost scrubbed the hide off, so if you see paint, that's why. I tried to paint my fingernails and make it look better, but anyway, I found some things at Goodwill. At my Goodwill, I have never found before. I found some sari scarves that were just gorgeous. And look at this, they're hand tied on the ends. I don't know if you can see those little knots on the end. I just loved it, thought it was gorgeous. Love the colors of it. Found that one, and found this one, and found this one. And they were 49 cents each, if you can believe that. I just have never found that at our Goodwill before. We live in a small town, and just I'd never found it. So anyway, that's one thing that prompted me to do this. I've been wanting to do another boho for a while. So here's kind of what I got going. I had this piece of upholstery fabric. Loved the colors in it. Thought it was very rich. Love this lace. I think I got it at maybe Hobby Lobby. Not sure, but it's cotton, and it's just, I don't know. It's just a little bit different. I love the feel of it, and it's just very dainty. But anyway, so what I've done is I cut that sari up, and there was a lot of space, empty blue space, and I wanted it to be closer together. So I folded it down and stitched along here, as you can see. And then I had this piece of blue satin, and I stitched it because I want to do this, I think, to make the band around the journal cover. So another thing I did, so I'm going to put this lace here, I think. So another thing I did was I done some beading work. And let me get the lighting to where you can see this a little bit better. What I did was I took a piece of that sari, and I wanted to show you. I got this piece of velvet. It's not really the perfect color that I wanted, but it was all I could find in the line of velvet. This is a Vera shirt that I got at Goodwill, and it's velvety, but it's velvety and sheer in between. See that? But what I wanted to show you was you could, putting all these elements together, and you can get this stuff, for cheap and make it look good. So what I did was I took a piece of that red velvet, and I just gathered it, and took a needle and thread and done a gathering stitch. And the other shirt that this comes from, let me show you that, is a shirt that I got at a yard sale for $2. And this is one thing that I love to do. I just love to repurpose. It's just one of my favorite things to do. But see the sequins and the beading? These are teeny tiny seed beads, or what those are. So anyway, that's what this is. So I've taken a piece, and I put some more beading on there, and gathered it all to make like a snippet, fabric snippet, and I love that. I think it's going to be so rich and so pretty. And then I had gotten this a while back at Joann Fabric. They had their beads on sale for 75% off, and isn't that pretty? Isn't that Indian-ish, gypsy-ish looking? I just love it. So I think what I'm going to do is do this, and I don't know exactly what I'll put. I need some more embellishment up here. But what I want to do is I want to start you on the process here with me and show you how I make my journal covers. And we'll go through here real quick, and I'll try not to make the video too long. So I start with a hanging file folder. And I cut this, I believe it's 9 by, it is, hang on, wrong way. It is 9 by 6. And this is just the size. You know how it is. You find a format that you like, and this is just the format I like. I like the size of these. I like the feel of these. I like the softness of them when you get them done. So this is just kind of what I settled on, how I do it. So another thing that I want to show you that I do is and I can't remember. I don't want to say for sure, but I think maybe Nick the Booksmith. I'm not sure. You know how that is. You watch so many different people that you can't remember for sure. But whoever it was that I got started on watching showed how they use score tape and glue. And so that's what I do. I line everything up, and I'm going to fast forward here to show you how I do this. Okay, so I kind of got out of sequence on that time lapse a little bit, but it all turned out okay. It will be fine. That's the method I like, is the Fabri-Tac and the score tape. And I get the score tape. It says Suk Wang on it. I get the score tape on Amazon. So, and it's not that expensive. It goes a long way, I think. I buy the 1/4 inch and the 1/8 inch. I use both. So now we're going to go back to the outside and start embellishing it. So I think what I want to do is, I probably should have hemmed this a little better, stitched this along here. I think I would like it better. I think a stitch line here would look a lot better. So let me go do that, and I'll come right back. So while I was sitting at the sewing machine doing this stitch, I thought, well, why don't I just do a decorative stitch along there? I really like the way that turned out. I think that really adds to it. If you're like me, I have those decorative stitches. I have a Janome sewing machine. I have those decorative stitches on there. Not a lot. It's not a one that's loaded with them, but I don't use them all that often. So if you got them, you might as well use them, huh? So I think what I'm going to do, I'm trying to place this to where I get 4 of these little symbols across the front here, because I really like them. So I want to get the maximum. I want to get the placement on those just right. So they're going to go like that. Let's tuck that under. I think I want to take this pretty lace. I think I want the lace to go just right, skim right across the top of that. I don't want to hide a lot of that blue. And I want to make sure I've got the right side on this. Whichever side is. It feels like maybe it's this side. Yeah, it's this side. Isn't that pretty? Just so dainty. I love that. So I want to skim that right across the top of there. I want to get this straight here. I'm getting a little crooked. Don't want to do that. Let's cut this lace the length that we need to cut it. I'm so glad you're here with me today. It's going to be a busy week next week, so I don't know how much I can get done. I don't think I've shared with you all before. We lost our youngest son to a tragic accident at 23. And we started an organization in his name. His name was Casey. And if you'll notice, my YouTube channel is Casey Lane Designs. Now, his name was Casey, C-A-S-E-Y, but for tag purposes and stuff, the KC I thought was more visually pleasing. So, but I walk down Casey Lane a lot, so that's why I named it Casey Lane Designs. But to tell you all that, we founded an organization in his name called Casey's Kicks, and we have a fundraiser every year around his birthday, which is August the 12th. And that's coming up. We're going to have the fundraiser on August the 11th on next Saturday. And we raise money in the community to give shoes to the needy, because Casey he loved his shoes. He was very, very picky about his shoes, and he always had to have the nicest of shoes. And so when we wanted to do something, he was also very musically inclined, but I said, let's do something that's a necessity. So last year we raised $11,000 at the fundraiser, and then we raised another $2,000 for a total of $13,000, I think it was, to give to the county-wide kids, which we're in a small area, so that's pretty decent. And the schools have the fund, and if they see the need, then they can buy the shoes, the shoes for the kids that need it. It's really a neat thing. I actually went today and bought a couple pair for a kid, and got to give for a family, and got to give them to the kids. So it's just an awesome thing. But anyway, so all that to be saying that next week is going to be very busy because of that. Have a lot to do to get ready for that. So I wanted to do this video today because I wouldn't be able to do much next week. So I'm going to trim this up. I'm going to glue this down. I hope I'm far enough from the bottom. Let's bring that up just a little bit. That's the only bad thing about Fabri-Tac. I'll have to hide that because it's coming through and it doesn't look so good. That's the only bad thing about it. Okay, so let's get this straight across here. And I will put the Fabri-Tac to glue this down very light on the front because I don't want it bleeding through here. So let's that's about where I want it. So I'm going to try to go maybe under where it's doubled here and you won't see it so much. Let's do that. Because, oh, now see, I got off. See, I want this around the front more. Let's pull that back up and take it on around. A mess up, do over. Let's do it over. Because I want this to show. I want 4 of them across the front. I got to talking about Casey's Kicks and forgot what I was doing here. I'll go back and work on that here in a second. Let's worry about this right at the moment and getting this right. So I've got the 4 across the front. That's what I want. That was my goal. And it's pretty straight across the bottom. And so let's do some of that across here. And I'm not going to press too hard because I don't want it to come through that second layer. Because remember I doubled and sewed over. So I don't want to get that to come through. So I'm just going to lightly do that all the way across here. I'm going to put some down on the bottom too, lightly. Let's see where we're at here. Make sure it's adhering pretty good. I'm going to stick a little bit under here. I'm going to put it on the heavier fabric on the bottom and just kind of tack it along there. And it's adhering well. It's going to be okay. I'm going to go over here and tack this down. And I will go back over and put a piece of lace here or something to hide that. We just want to get it stuck down pretty good here. Oh, being contrary. Come on. Okay. My husband's out mowing, and I'm going to have to go get supper here, so I want to get this video done so I can get it uploaded. We live out in the country, and it takes forever to upload. So, it'll probably be midnight before this thing gets on. Okay. Turn this around here. Let's trim that off a little bit. Don't need that much. And I'm not too worried about it being straight or anything because, like I said, I will cover that up with something. And I hope you noticed, I use clips on my edges down here, and I hold that in and glue that down and then put my clips on there to hold that so that my corners, especially when you've got something heavy like this heavy fabric. You know, if you're doing a light cotton or paper, it's not a big deal, but when you're doing something heavy like this, it's a little bit tricky. Now I want to make sure that my two things are meeting up here, and it's not too bad. By the time you get this thing filled, you'll not notice that it's off just a little bit. I am really excited about what I'm putting in this. I've got some neat things to put in this. Okay. Let's put some along the spine here. But I want to loosely put that down. Let's put some more down here. Because you know how full that'll be. So you got to kind of round it. Make sure it's not taut because you will be filling that. You don't want it to pull once you get it full. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go on and put our lace on here. Just about like that, I think. I want that blue just peeking out. I want this just, I'm going to try to make this fall just along the top of this. And that'll give me a good reference point here. Let me pull that over just a little bit. Can't believe school's starting this week. I don't know where the summer went. The grandkids actually started, they live about an hour away, and they started Friday, but where we live, it starts this week. Okay, so I think what I'll do is the heavy parts of this lace, where it's thick, is where I'm going to tack with the Fabri-Tac. And you don't want to, you don't want to do tons. There's no reason to do tons of glue because it'll grab. Just all along that heavy part. Now I want to make sure to bring this down right to the point. Let's see, where did I leave off with my glue? Right here. I've done some beadwork on this too that I think is going to be so pretty. Move that up a little bit. Just a tad, just skim along that edge. Okay. And we're going to bring that around. That'll all be covered up with fabric whenever I get ready to do the inside anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But let's take a look here. Now you see you've got some excess here, but that's okay because when you fill that, it's all going to be good because it'll follow around that. Because I really like to make them full and thick, and I want to make sure I have enough give here to do that. So I'm pretty happy with that. Looking really pretty. Okay, let's go on to the embellishment here. This is the beadwork, if you remember when I showed you in the beginning. And I, with this red that I really like along here, which I'm going to adhere somehow. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, where I'm going to do it. I don't know yet. I hate to cover up that lace. It's so pretty. I hate to cover this up. So I'm just not real sure where I'm going to put that. But I'll figure it out. Where is these beads? So what I noticed was, if you notice this red is more of a red, and this is more, a little more maroonish, wine colorish. And so I was looking at it, and to tie it in a little bit better, I thought maybe these beads, I laid them out on there, and they seem to tie it in a little bit better, just to give it a little more pop. So I think, yeah, I like that better. I think I'll put some of those on there just to give it more color and tie it all in. So I'm going to sew that on. I'm just going to take a needle and thread and sew those on. I'll be right back. So I sewed those on. I really like them. So I think I'm going to tie this off, and you can see how just random. I'm not a very good hand seamstress, I can tell you that. You can see it's not very neatly done. But I'm going to glue it down so it will be fine. Okay, let me tie that off. But I do really like that with the sequins, and I think it's pretty. I'll lay that needle and thread there because I'm going to do something else with it here. So before I glue that down, let's go on it because I don't want any regrets. I don't want to do something I wished I hadn't have. I have, out of that shirt, I cut up some more pieces, and I laid that there, kind of like that. Maybe sew some of these other colored beads onto that. I think I'll do that. Let's do that. Let's take our needle. Now I specifically threaded this with red because this color red, because I wanted to bring more red in. So it'll have a little touch of red because of the threading that I used. I want to show you this though. These little bitty sequins. And these, you see that? So, let me come up through here. I don't know what you call these long beads. But see, they're going to give it a little bit of a blue touch to it, just to tie it all in together, which is what I'm trying to do. See there? Tying it all in together here. Rather than make you bored sitting here while I do this, I'm going to pause this and I'll sew these on, then I'll come back. So we're on the last leg of the journey here, and I've got things glued down. And I'd kind of like to have your opinion on something, if you guys can comment below. I have glued this piece down. I really like it. And I added these, and I can't decide with or without. I can't decide. I like it both ways. That might be a little bit much, but you know, I like it. I like a lot. I like it loaded. It covers up my decorative stitching though, a little bit. I don't know. What do you guys think? You like it better with or without? And got my little snippet, and I laid it on some more, I cut up doily here that I kind of draped. I like it laying off the edge like that. So I'm going to attach all this down and then see what you think. The more I look at it, the more I like those with. But let me know what your thoughts are on that. So I'm going to finish this up, gluing everything down, and I will come back in the next few days and we'll do the flip through on this, because I can't wait to show you what it's going to look like with everything filled. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and thanks for hanging with me. Bye.